Let's go to Clare now, the Home Affairs Minister.
Sentinel events to the country and gave an ironclad and clear direction that we needed to shake things up. We've been working very hard for 8 months to improve cyber defences for Australia, and today the Prime Minister's announced a significant change within the Australian government about how cybersecurity will be managed. This will have two impacts. It will make sure that all of that great work that's happening in government and out in the community will be properly strategically managed to make sure that we're cyber safe as a country. And the second is to make sure that when cyber incidents do occur, as they will continue to occur, we can quickly get back up off the mat and make sure that we're cyber resilient. Now, these are important changes. They've been very welcomed by business, who are absolutely thrilled that for the first time in a long time, they've got a government that is actually caring and actually doing something about this incredibly important national security problem that faces our country. Today, the Prime Minister hosted a roundtable. Now, what we saw today was that the last Prime Minister was the one who got rid of the Cybersecurity Minister and let the country go on continental drift with regard to cyber for too long. We're 5 years behind where we need to be, and the PM has made it absolutely clear that he expects me to make sure that we're cyber fit for today and for the future. So we are advertising for the Cybersecurity Coordinator at the moment, and we expect to have them in place within the next month. So the National Office for Cybersecurity will be staffed as it's needed. We'll work that out with my department, but we're not putting a number on it just at the moment. Yep. So it's absolutely essential that we better coordinate the work that is happening within government. We have a whole range of government departments that are doing really important work, and indeed lots of people in the community who are doing great things for cybersecurity. The problem is that at the moment they're all rowing in different directions. We need a coordinator within government to make sure that all of that good work adds up to a more cybersecure Australia, and to make sure that when businesses and organisations and citizens are under cyber attack, that they have one point of entry for the Australian government to come and help them. So I think what Optus and Medibank really showed the government was that, unbelievably, there was no functional cyber incident response mechanism within the Australian government. So when Optus occurred, it had been completely unforeseen by the previous government that a cyber attack of this scale could happen in Australia. Now, it should have been foreseen, and we should have been better prepared. But what the Australian government has done now is made sure that next time this happens, we've got proper incident response functions at the ready. So when we have a scale of attack of that nature, we're able to respond to it well.
And why does the ASD need greater access to private companies?
So one of the really important things about cybersecurity is that this is not just about individuals and businesses and organisations. Sometimes cybersecurity threats are so significant that they actually represent a national security risk for our country. Now, in those limited circumstances, it will sometimes be necessary for government to come in and assist an Australian company or organisation to help manage a cybersecurity incident, and that's what those powers currently allow the Australian government to do. The question for us is, are they fit for purpose for 2030, when we know by then the cybersecurity threat, which is already huge and relentless and growing, is going to be a significantly greater risk to the country.
Are you able to give more detail on that, and exactly how the ASD, like what they would do step by step in case there was a cyber attack like that, and how they would enter into a private company?
Yep. Okay. So the Australian Signals Directorate is the centre hub of cyber technical skills in the Australian government. The smartest people in our country who understand cyber tech work for the Australian Signals Directorate. This is a resource for businesses when they are under that significant pressure and strain. And what we are saying to businesses is that in some circumstances it will be necessary for the ASD to come in and actually help you fight off what might be a very professional, very well organised, very skilled cyber attacker who is trying to hurt not just your business, not just your company, but Australians themselves.
Is there any questions on the phone?
Yeah, Minister, at this stage, do you think it is necessary for ASD to get those greater powers?
The Australian Signals Directorate already has the power to come in and assist companies and organisations that are under cyber threat. The problem today is that those powers are very, very narrowly defined, and the questions Australians need to ask is when we look to 2030 and understand the growing, relentless, huge nature of the threat that we confront, do we want to equip government to be better able to support businesses and organisations when they are under that really serious cyber risk that we face?
Is the government going to prohibit companies from paying a ransom to hackers?
So ransomware is one of the biggest cyber threats that we face as a country, and we've seen this on a very much a national scale with what happened at Medibank. What the Australian government is thinking about is how do we reduce the fruits of ransomware for cyber criminals. When we have an ecosystem where people are constantly paying ransoms, then it makes it look like Australia is a soft target, and we are not a soft target. There are many Australian companies that do not pay ransom, and certainly the advice of the Australian government is that we would ask you not to do that. There is a separate question here about whether ransomware payments should be made illegal, and that is a question that is being examined under the cyber strategy that's in development today.
Clare O'Neill there saying companies shouldn't pay ransoms in the event of a hack. She's just been at that roundtable in Sydney on cybersecurity.